McIsaac here, and today I'm going to tell you how cosplay saved my life. Now recently there's been a lot of talk about cosplay in the geek world, most of it controversial because of the cosplay is not consent movement, because there's been a lot of people objectifying men and women in costumes and feeling like it's okay to sexually harass them because they're asking for it. Gee, does that sound familiar? And then furthermore, there's been a lot of shaming and talk, especially perpetuated by the show Heroes of Cosplay on Sci-Fi Channel due to the editing that makes all cosplayers look catty and mean and competitive and judgmental. I'm here to tell you how cosplay affected me, and I hope that through my story that it will inspire you to share your own stories or to just go out there and try cosplaying. I'm 24 years old. My entire life I've suffered from body dysmorphia. The way that I can describe body dysmorphia is basically you're trapped in this box of flesh and you hate it. You look in the mirror and you hate what you see and you wish you could just cut holes in yourself and put a vacuum cleaner in and suck the fat out, and it doesn't matter how skinny you get or how different you look, you're never going to be happy with yourself. Body dysmorphia means that you starve yourself, that you feel guilty every time you eat food, that you cannot stand looking in the mirror because you hate it. Body dysmorphia means laying in bed at night wishing, oh God, I'd give anything to wake up tomorrow morning in a different body. Please, if there's someone out there listening to me, let me wake up tomorrow morning in a different body. That was my life. My life was laying on my closet floor sobbing because I didn't want to leave the house because I knew that everyone would judge me. I knew that people would look at me and see what I saw, see this disgusting beast and say, what the fuck, why would she show herself in public? Why doesn't she just kill herself and get it over with? I always felt like my life wasn't going to start until I was skinny and beautiful. Like, oh, when I'm pretty, I'll get the job that I want. When I'm pretty, I'll get the boyfriend I want. When I'm pretty, I'll get the clothes I want, the opportunities I want. But not until I'm pretty, not until I'm skinny. That was my life. It was hell. It was pure hell. But alongside that, I've also always been a geek. And I always found solace in being a geek. And I'm a geek of all trades. I love comic books and video games and anime and fantasy and sci-fi and Dungeons and Dragons and LARPing. Like, I love it all. And I've always loved it all. And it was especially important to me because I was homeschooled in the middle of nowhere in Alaska, and so some of my closest friends growing up were fictional characters, and some of my female role models were fictional characters, you know? I wanted to be Wonder Woman. And so when I finally got the chance to cosplay for the first time 4 or 5 or 6 years ago now, I jumped on it. But because of my body dysmorphia, I cosplayed a character that was covered head to toe in fabric. And this is something I'd always done. The way that I dress, or dressed, the way that I dressed is tights and big boots and a bulky dress and a bulky sweater. Nobody can ever see my arms or my legs because they're going to judge them. You know? Nobody can ever look at any of my skin. If I have sex, I have to have sex with the lights off, and then I cry or I can't let go because it sucks because I can't feel comfortable with myself. That's what body dysmorphia is. So the first time I cosplayed a character named Suisoseki from Rosin Maiden. She was a really interesting choice for me because she's very small and I'm very hyper and like personable and crazy, which is why I felt like it related to her, but I'm 5'10" and I have curves, and so cosplaying this character, my decision was mainly based on the fact that she wore a dress that covered her completely. And I went out as this character and I actually really enjoyed myself, and I felt like people were going to judge me, but they didn't. I got a positive response from everyone. And so I started to feel a little bit better, and I started to cosplay a lot more, and it was really exciting to me to dress up as these characters that I loved and embody them and have little kids call me by the character's name or fans call me by the character's name, and it was able to like let me let go of myself for a while and become that character. So I started, working in the geek industry professionally, writing, and I fell in with this really amazing group of women, and they invited me to be part of their cosplay group. And all these ladies are friends to this day. They're inspiring, gorgeous ladies, and of every shape and size, or every walk in life, and they're just perfect, and they're wonderful, and they're inspiring, and I never really had female friends like this before. And they invited me to be part of their cosplay group at San Diego Comic-Con in 2010 or 2011. And we were doing The Female Furies, which is a comic that I really love. You know, Darkseid and his, like, gang of badass female supervillains, all led by Granny Goodness. And my favorite character from The Female Furies is Knockout. Knockout is this statuesque lady with, like, big muscles and long, crazy red hair. And she kisses Superboy to throw him off, and her power is super strength, so she's just so cool, and she like beats people up, and she's just like raw, crackling female energy. She's like a lesbian, except she kind of has this like little affair with Superboy, but he like hates it because she's a bad guy, and it's awesome. She's just really cool. And so when they asked me to be her in this group, I was like, fuck yeah, except that Knockout wears a thong leotard. That's so far out of my comfort zone that, like, it was hard for me to say yes to that. I've never left the house in a swimsuit. When I go swimming, even to this day, I still wear, like, shorts and a tank top. And that was me exposing so much, something that I'd never done before. But I agreed to do it because I love the character, and also because, like, maybe I thought it would help me work out and, like, lose weight. So I biked and I ran and I dieted like crazy. I cut carbs out and I only lost like 7 pounds. Because I'm curvy. I'm naturally curvy. And now I know that's how I am and I'm happy with it. I think I'm hot. But back then, I didn't see that. So I went to the convention and I was like 2 seconds away from backing out. But I couldn't let these ladies down. So that day I put on that leotard. I put on like 2 pairs of tights so nobody would see my cellulite. And I went out on the convention floor, and I have to tell you, I've never been that scared in my life. I was so convinced that every single person was going to look at me and say, oh my god, what possessed her to do this? What is wrong with that disgusting girl? She's so fat, she's so ugly. But I went out on the convention floor, and something really amazing happened. I started liking myself. I was standing there amidst all of these cameras and people taking photos of me and people telling me that I was the perfect knockout. And their words didn't sound like lies to me anymore. I was finding strength through embodying this character that I had sought strength in the past. I was absorbing her badassery and her strength by dressing up as her. And it wasn't the validation from the other people, it was my own self-validation. I had challenged myself, I had gone out of my comfort zone, and nothing bad happened. Everything good happened. I was so happy. And that night I went back and I looked in the mirror, and I didn't hate myself anymore. How did that happen? So since then, I've dressed up as many strong female characters, Dark Phoenix and Black Widow and Wonder Woman in different incarnations, and each time I dress up as them, each time as I embody these strong female characters, I become stronger and I love myself more. I don't feel guilty eating food anymore. I don't starve myself anymore. When I look in the mirror, I like want to high-five myself. I cured this lifelong hell that I had been in by cosplaying. Do you know how intense that is? So if you want to cosplay, but you think that you're too fat or too skinny or too short or too tall or not the right race, or if you're a boy who wants to be a girl or a girl who wants to be a boy, it doesn't matter. If you love that character and you want to be that character, you dress up as that fucking character. Fuck everyone else. Fuck what anyone thinks. Fuck what you think people are going to think. If you love it and if you love that character and if you want to cosplay that character, cosplay that character. Haters be damned. Because cosplay saved my life, and I bet it could save yours too. So that's my story. Subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be making a lot more videos like this, discussing my experiences in the geek world and talking about how it's okay to be feminine and still be a geek and all sorts of awesome topics I have in the future. But in the meantime, subscribe and also make video responses or send me messages and let me know how cosplay or being a geek helped you or how it didn't help you. I want to hear your stories. Just know that I admire and I look up to every single person who ever wears a costume because that shit is brave and beautiful, and you're brave and beautiful. I love you, unicorns. Till next time.